could it be that Ed Miliband has finally had a bit of a rethink and is actually thinking about us poor people, who live in flats like this one? Or maybe, just maybe, he's actually realised that his whole net zero push is kind of a waste of money and people aren't happy about it, so he wants us to save money in other ways. And I say that because apparently he's been dropping big hints that the government might just slash the VAT rate on electric bills. And he also apparently was on the telly on Sunday saying he wouldn't spill the beans before Chancellor Rachel Reeves unveils the budget in November. But when asked if he'd ditched the 5%, he mentioned that we're in the middle of a cost of living crisis and the government has got to tackle it. So they're considering all sorts of options, which does actually sound quite hopeful for that, doesn't it? If, though, they did scrap the VAT on domestic energy bills, it would save the average household about 86 quid a year. But it would cost the government about £2.5 billion annually, according to Nesta. There's also a bit of pressure on the government to lower these energy costs. And remember, before the election, Labour promised to cut the average household bills by £300 a year by 2030. Well, yeah, that exactly isn't going too well, is it, Miliband? But speaking of Mr. Miliband, he chatted with Lord Koonsberg and stood by his promise, he reckoned. And he says that the high bills are down to our reliance on fossil fuels. Well, it doesn't seem to be that way, actually, Ed, I'm sorry to say. And if anything, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure these net zero things like solar panels, windmills, well, they aren't exactly free and need to be paid for. So maybe with service and costs as well, that, in my opinion, more than likely is a lot more expensive than the good old fossil fuels that we're using at the minute, eh? But he went on to say that the only way to bring this down is by switching to, here we go, clean homegrown energy that we control so that we're not at the mercy of oil-rich countries and dictators. His comments are stirring up some speculations that Miss Reeves might be planning a few treats, if you can call it that, to ease the blow of other tax hikes, because that's how it always seems, doesn't it? They give with one hand and take back with the other. It's absolute take, isn't it? And at the end of the day, we always seem worse off at the end, in my opinion. So either way, I'm guessing our wallets are more than likely going to get a kick in its balls anyway. But this is all happening apparently as the Chancellor tries to fill a fiscal gap that could be as big as £30 billion, something which I reckon she has actually only made that bigger, because remember when they took over, they were saying about a £22 billion black hole. We never heard the end of it, did we? And now, of course, it was about, what was it, 50 billion? Now they think it's 30. Either way, those numbers are a lot bigger than £22 billion black hole, aren't they? So thank you, Rachel. You're doing an absolute, well, crap job, really, in my opinion. But the Treasury, however, they're keeping very tight-lipped on all this speculation. But anyway, what do you reckon of this? Let me know down in the comments and I'll be back very soon with some more videos. So make sure you click the subscribe button down there so you don't miss my next one.